What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. This is the third time I'm trying to record this video because there was construction going on upstairs and they just keep drilling and interfering with the video. So we're going to try and get through this as well as we can. Today, look, I just wanted to, talk about how I've been able to create a life free from body dysmorphia and self-doubt that used to completely cripple me. For those of you that are new to this channel, and for those of you that are returning and know my story, I spent over 15 years of my life completely controlled by this negative perception of myself. Body dysmorphia, self-doubt, not feeling good enough, feeling inferior, feeling less than as a man. I would always compare myself to other people. I would make physical progress, but because of the way I would see myself, I would not be able to actually see the progress and feel proud and confident of what I was building. And it completely controlled my life, and not only from a physical perspective of not liking my body, but the way that my mindset was constructed, the self-image and how I saw myself in the grand scheme of things, it impacted the way in which I lived my life. And I did a post on this the other day in terms of like when I looked in the mirror, I saw a man that was just not capable of building the deep desires and dreams that I had for my life, right? And they're probably no different to the ones you have, right? You want to see a body that you love, you feel proud of, you feel confident in, and that, you got a physique that truly reflects the self-worth that you have deep down. I wanted to attract in a beautiful relationship so I could become the best husband, the best father, and the best man that I could possibly be. I wanted to build a business and a level of financial freedom that allowed me to not only have deep impact on those that I work with, but also allowed me to provide for my family, to live a lifestyle that was on my terms, down to just being able to eat good quality food, not worrying about price tags and all those kind of things. And most importantly, I just wanted to be happy with who I was, and feel like I was in control without that little voice of doubt and fear and pessimism and negativity always jumping in to pull me back, right? And what I sort of discovered, and what I speak about in a lot of my content here on TikTok, Instagram, in the free Telegram community, when we think about body dysmorphia and body image related challenges, our mind goes straight to the strategy. Like, okay, I see this body that I don't like and that that impacts me in a range of different ways. So the solution has to be the program, the meal plan, to lose weight, to add muscle, to be able to fit in smaller clothes or whatever it might be. And this is where so many people get stuck or get distracted, myself included, for over 15 years. Because in my mind, I was like, okay, well, in order for me to be happy, in order for me to feel confident, in order for me to, stop feeling inferior and to be the kind of man that I want, right, I needed this certain physique. And naturally, the way I'm going to achieve that is to have the best program, to have the best nutrition strategy, and to work with the best coach that I can find. And so I went and did that. I worked with a bunch of coaches. My body actually changed a fair bit over over that period. Towards the latter end of those 15 years, when I started PTing and doing my own training, nutrition development, and my own coaching stuff, I had all the knowledge in the world. I knew what I needed to do, but that missing piece was still the way I saw myself, was still my mindset. I still looked in the mirror, and there were times where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see I look physically different, and that's cool. However, the same insecurities were there. The same level of self-doubt was still there. The same the same belief that I wasn't good enough and that I still had all this way to go, that was all still there. And it was really, really frustrating, because, you listen to the fitness coaches, you listen to the gurus out there, they're like, oh yeah, you build the body and everything comes with it. And that just wasn't the case for me. And I know this is the case for a lot of people, but just about every client that comes to me, I know I've had a lot of messages from these videos are like, oh, I'm exactly the same. I just can't seem to change the way I see myself. And so as I went on this journey and I started to, do different forms of development and do more of, the inner world pieces and the personal development side of things to just become better as a whole, I started to realize what what was actually going on. And there was a reason that I was still stuck and I was still so limited despite the physical, physical things changing, or despite me knowing what I needed to do. And it all revolved around my self-image. Now, when I say self-image, this is quite a big topic, but to put it simply, our self-image is the way in which we perceive ourselves, and the way in which we perceive ourselves is made up by a few different internal pieces, right? It's our belief system. So it's the things we genuinely believe are true for us, and in our minds, they are unchangeable facts. It's the identity that we have been conditioned into believing is who we are. So one of the biggest roadblocks for me was my identity, i.e. the body dysmorphia guy who never felt good enough, who lacked confidence, etc., that had been conditioned into me from sort of grade 5 or 6 when I started to get some bullying for my chest, right? I had gynecomastia, which is man boobs for lack of a better word, and I started to get some bullying through primary school and then sort of into high school, and I was playing high-level basketball from kind of start of high school till a year or so out. So it was in sort of that higher end sporting environment, and I saw myself as different because I had a bigger chest, right? And I'd received bullying for that. And because of that, I then created belief systems. I created an identity. I'd created a story. I had a level of self-talk. There was a place that I would put myself on the hierarchy based on my body. That was keeping me stuck. That was who I generally saw myself as. And because I hadn't challenged that, I would continue to create that in my external world. So I would always seek evidence to support the fact, right? This is how our ego and our unconscious mind works. It has this concept of self, of who we think we are, or who we think we need to be, or who we have been and we've been told that we are. And it will then go out and accumulate evidence to support that. So when I was going through these physical transformations, I was trying to improve my life and build all the things, the business and blah, blah, blah. All these dreams and desires that I have, they actually went against that identity that I had formed. They went against the belief systems that were my truth, right? Because I hadn't challenged them. So me having this body, like say the body that I'm in now, where I generally love how I look, I'm in control of it, and I'm proud of what I see, like that was completely foreign and went against and created conflict with who I was. Because I was like, okay, I'm the body dysmorphia guy with the funny chest, and I'm not confident, and I'm not good enough, and blah, 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 blah. I've got to, hide myself away, right? Having a body as the opposite of that, like completely foreign, imposter syndrome, like that is not me. And because the belief system I had was that is not me, when I went to try and create it, I would either not be able to see it because I was still in that old mindset, or I would sabotage it. Right? It was like, what am I doing here? This isn't us. I don't know how to maintain this. I don't know how to live this life. All I know is how to not be confident. All I know is how to be insecure. All I know is how to pick my body apart. And obviously that then translated into other areas of my life. That impacted my dating, my relationships, not wanting to be seen shirtless. Even in my business, like from how much I charge because of my worth, and it's me, people won't pay that much to me, right? It was another symptom. Of just, again, the dreams that I had for my life. I would picture all of these things, but when I came back to earth and the voice was like, well, that's not you. You can't do that because you're not good enough, right? These were all just this big whirlpool of complete fuckery, and I felt completely hopeless. And it was because of the creator, the man that was going to be responsible for doing all these things, changing all these things, attracting things in, he was not the man, right? I was not the man capable of building this kind of life. And the distraction and the problem is we see, I've got body dysmorphia, or I have this lack of confidence, or I doubt myself, or I'm unable to receive compliments. Like whatever the symptoms are, we focus on those things, and we believe if we just fix that symptom, so say the body dysmorphia or the body as a whole, if we fix that, then everything's going to change. But what we misunderstand is, let's just say, right, we'll use the body as an example. So I was like, okay, if I fix the body, I will be confident, and I will be able to do this, and I'll be able to do this, and I'll be more certain in who I am, and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't realize that the body was a symptom of this deeper underlying story and root cause, which was, I'm the man who's not good enough, that has gynecomastia, that's been bullied, has so much evidence and stuff that's happened in the past to support this, right? So that is what was driving everything. Cool, so what is a symptom of this story? Yeah, a body that you don't like, a body that you can't change, this luck with relationships, this amount of money, this business, this lifestyle, this happiness, blah, 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 right? And because I was only focused on the symptoms, and so many people are only focused on the symptoms, especially in the fitness industry, and our ego is looking to protect this root cause thing that's actually creating all the problems in the first place, nothing ever changed. My life didn't ever change. As I said, there were times where I actually did change my body and I could see it, but I still felt the same, right? Why? Because this story and the self-image hadn't changed, so it would just project that problem onto something else. And I would experience insecurity or inferiority in another area of my life. So it wasn't until I started to connect the dots and I was like, okay, I started to learn about there is root causes, all right? And it's stuck in our unconscious mind that our ego will look to protect us from because it's probably painful, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And when I started to do that inner work, right, everything began to change because I was now changing myself at a foundational level. I was becoming the man capable of having X, Y, Z, right? My belief systems were now serving me. I was challenging the beliefs that didn't serve me. Like, I didn't want to live with that anymore. And they were I only saw them as unchangeable truths because I never actually challenged them, right? We live in this world where we don't think for ourselves, right? And so many of our belief systems and our limitations aren't actually ours to hold. They've been given to us by someone else or something else or through our upbringing. And if we don't challenge them, they're going to continue to control our life, right? So as I started to do this work, I started to see that I was capable. I could just be confident, right? I could love my body, but also want to continue to improve it. I could up my rates with my business. I could attract in this kind of woman because I was now being the man that was actually capable of attracting this kind of woman. I was completely dissolved my inferiority complex. I no longer compare myself to anyone. I'm able to tip my hat if someone's doing really well. I don't place myself above anyone because I've created this reality in which I am the main character and I am in control of everything. I'm the master of my reality. And that's because that's the way I have constructed my internal world, combined with my connection to God, higher power, universe, my spiritual connection, whatever you want to call it. Like, that is also a massive part of building this life free from limitation. If your reference point is the world, i.e. you're at the mercy of others' expectations, opinions, what they're doing, who you think you need to be, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to take on these insecurities. You're going to hold the belief systems and limitations of others that were never yours to actually hold. And because we're not aware that this is happening, we don't challenge them, then they become facts, and now our life is created in that mold, right? We create symptoms of those deeper problems. And when I open up to the spiritual side of things, which for men can be quite challenging, and I've recently in the last year or so really connected to God, and it's completely changed my life, my reference point has now changed. So, external world aside, physical body aside, bank account aside, relationship aside, I now know that I am a child of God. I know that I'm a man of God. And that means I don't have to live with the insecurities, because that's not who I am, right? Insecurity, doubt, any negative feeling or emotion is a result of a lie and a result of the matrix and the worldly conditioning that we get consumed in. Comparison, fear of judgment, right? Our reference point is outside of us. So we can bring that reference point back to something higher than us. Again, it doesn't have to be God. That just is what works for me. Spirit, universe, like whatever you want to call it. When that is our reference point, we're able to act from who we genuinely want to be, who we are on this earth to be, rather than who we think we need to be or who we've been told that we are. And once we do this work, once we do the self-image work, once we shift our reference point, then we can start looking at the external strategy. So it's not, it's all well and good to do the self-image work, but if you're not doing anything with it, it's going to be pretty hopeless, right? This is body positivity in a nutshell for me. I think it's incredibly toxic, where we try and convince ourselves that we love ourselves, and we just sit in this body that we don't like and we just accept it. It's like, no, that's the other end of the spectrum. But once I did the self-image self-image work and I removed all of those limitations, yeah, sweet, now the training and nutrition plan, we can dial that in and I can execute it because it's just what I do. Like I go and train and eat well because it's just what I do. I say, yep, I want to build muscle, or yep, I need to drop down and I want to get shredded. Cool, I just go out and fucking do it and it happens because it's just what I do. Right? I've attracted in a beautiful partner, a beautiful woman who loves me, who adores me, who supports me, and that's because I was showing up as the man that would attract in that kind of woman, and we have that kind of relationship. Business-wise, like whilst I'm definitely not where I want to be from a financial perspective, because there's been a lot of shifts that have been going on lately, a lot of the growth I've experienced in my business has been around clarity in how I actually want to deliver things, which is going to lead me to eventually the money side to come in. But even just how I'm showing up in my business now, the kind of clients I'm attracting, the depth and intimacy that I have with my clients, both one-on-one and at my events, is so different because now, again, my reference point to how I need to run my business and what I need to do is not the world. It's not the fitness industry. It's not Instagram. It's not YouTube. It's what feels best for me, what allows me to deliver my gift, and what am I most confident in. Cool, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to charge. It's a lot more than the majority of coaches, I promise you that, but that's all down to this self-image. So my life now is really starting to take on a completely different direction and trajectory, and of course there's always work to do. I'm not close to where I want to be, but I can see the foundation is there now, and all of these goals and dreams I have, they feel inevitable to me, right? It's like, it's a matter of time before it happens. It's a matter of time before the money comes in. It's a matter of time before I get as shredded as I've ever been, right? It's a matter of time before, I'm a husband, before, I'm the best father to my kids, before I can provide and look after my parents and give back, right? All these things, all these dreams I have, they feel inevitable because I now generally believe I am the person, or I'm becoming the person that is going to be able to create them. So if you're watching this and you're struggling with any of this that I've mentioned, the body image stuff, the body dysmorphia, and even outside of the physical, just self-doubt, inferiority, not feeling good enough, being bound to your past and what has happened and your failures and not being able to move through that, being inconsistent, lacking motivation, like it doesn't matter what the symptom is, guys. They are a result of something else, and they are a result of something that is stuck, unhealed, or left unaware within that self-image. And when we do that work, the whole playing field will open up. That's what I do at my one-day event called Origin. It's what I do with my high-end one-on-one guys. We have the strategy, so you get your program, your meal plan, and whatever you need in terms of where you're wanting to go. But before we do that, or as you're getting that, we need to do the deep self-image work. I need you to become a different person. We need to work through this foundational transformation, because then everything after that becomes a lot easier, a lot more effortless. Or when you have the challenges, you can now navigate them so much better because you understand they are there for a reason, and you don't let them impact how you see yourself. You don't let them impact how you show up, right? Because now you are in control. You are the master of your reality, and you get to wave your wand and make happen what you want happen because you're now the person that can do that. So if you like details on that, send me a message on Instagram is probably best. But what I would recommend is I have a free Telegram community where I'm putting content like this in every day. I'm dropping voice notes, I'm dropping sort of longer paragraphs, all related to this kind of stuff that doesn't make my social media. My gift is longer, unedited, raw content like this, where I'm able to go deep on a particular topic, and I'm doing that every day in this Telegram community with like-minded people. And you also get one-on-one access to me to ask me any questions. So the link to that is down below in the notes as well. But yeah, that is how I am building my life, body dysmorphia and limitation free. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a look at some of my other content if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe, like, do all the things, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.